Hey, what's up, everyone? I want to welcome you guys to another episode of Here's What I Think with your host, Charles Sabansi, where we discuss everything from current events, economics, politics, and how it all relates to business and life. And today we have a hell of a show in store for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So, folks, history is made once again. Donald Trump has been sworn in as the 47th president of the United States. And I think this is a day all of us have been waiting for, at least those of us that follow United States politics, waiting for Inauguration Day. Funny enough, I caught on to it a little bit later in the day because I just was working and I just remembered. I'm like, oh my God, that's right. The inauguration is on. So I tuned in and I caught the part where they were bringing in all the presidents. I saw George Bush come in. I saw Barack Obama come in. I saw Joe Biden come in. And funny enough, interestingly enough, Joe Biden, who was sitting next to Kamala Harris, because they brought them in last, the vice president and then the president, you know, they sat next to each other, but you could tell there was no love going on over there whatsoever. And I think that Kamala was upset after Biden came out and said that he felt that he could have won the election even after she lost it. I think they said that she didn't like him making that comment there. And then we waited for Donald Trump, for J.D. Vance to come in. He came in with his wife, Trump's kids and all of them. They came in, and then Donald Trump, he walked in with his typical Donald Trump, walk that he has or whatever. So he goes in there, they sit down, and all these speakers start to speak. And then Donald Trump takes the stage, right? And he begins to speak. Now, I want to be candid with all of you. Some of you know, but I didn't vote for Trump. All right, I didn't vote for Trump. So, I'm not a Trump fan, so to speak, although I don't think he's bad, but I just didn't vote for him. So people like me who didn't vote for him were keenly listening to hear what was he going to say? What tone was he going to take? Was it going to be a divisive tone or a tone that brings people together? What are going to be some of his executive orders? Because Trump has said that he has a lot of executive orders in store. So as he started to speak, I'm listening to him speak with my wife, because we're going to be moving back to the States the end of this year. So I'm just listening to everything that he's saying. And as I'm listening to him, I look over at her and I say, he's giving a fantastic speech. I like everything that he's saying. A few minutes later, I found myself clapping with him, clapping for him. A few minutes later, I saw myself posting a video on our Instagram page for our other channel, Dreamers Pro, applauding him for the things that he was saying. And he said a lot of things that I liked. And I want to go through some of them. I don't remember everything, but some of the things that I remember. He spoke about, first of all, closing down the border. I'm 100% against illegal immigration. I am. I think that it's wrong. And if you want to migrate to the United States, you should use the proper channels. There are a lot of people that do it successfully, and I don't think that you should get to skip the line, regardless of what's going on. So that's the first thing. I like the fact that he said he's ending stop and release. When they catch you and release you, they're ending that as well. He also made it clear that this is something they're going to be doing now. He made it a national security issue, and it is a security issue. I like the fact that he spoke about safety in cities. That's also important, right? As someone that's a new father, when you think about places to move, you're thinking about these things. Are these places safe? Is there law and order? That really stood out to me. I like the fact that he put an emphasis on making America a strong economy. And I don't remember every single thing that he said because the thing is actually still going on live as we currently speak. He did talk about some things that I'm not sure of how it's going to work in terms of the tariffs and all of that. I'm waiting to see how that is going to be explained. Another thing that I noticed throughout the proceedings, and it's something I got to say, I like the fact that there seemed to be a Christian a tone to everything that was going on. They had a lot of people go up there and they prayed to God. They were using the Lord's name. I like that. Donald Trump made it clear that there's not going to be any ambiguity anymore in terms of defining men and women. It's going to be man and woman. He said we're going to be bringing common sense back to the equation. I like that as a parent. That's very important to me. That resonates with me. Overall, I like the tone of his speech. He said a lot of different things that I can't remember right now. I just want to give you guys kind of a raw reaction to some of the things that he said, and I'm quite optimistic with some of the things that Donald Trump is saying. I like the fact that you're no longer going to be forced to buy a particular car. I like that as well. He brought that up. I'm somebody that I have nothing against electric cars, but I would never get one. I'm just not going to go for it. And so I like the fact that people like myself that like our petroleum cars, they were still going to be able to purchase them. They're not just going to go extinct. I like that. Some people may disagree with that. I like that. What else did he say? He said a bunch of other things, but I liked his overall tone. I think he had a lot of common sense issues that he wants to address. He also spoke about ending birthright citizenship. He spoke about that as well. And that, I don't think that's as controversial because that takes place in a lot of countries all over the world. Like my daughter, who's a U.S. citizen, she was born in the U.K. She doesn't have a British passport. She's a U.S./Nigerian citizen. So, I think that makes sense. A lot of countries already implement that. I think that's good. Now, let me just give you guys a general sense of how I think this thing is going to play out. Obviously, it's very early. Politicians are going to say things that we like to hear, but something about what Trump was, or rather the way Trump was saying what he was saying something about it seemed genuine to me. Right? I could be, oh man, you're sipping the Kool-Aid. No, I think something about it seemed genuine because most of the reasons why I didn't want to vote for Trump was because of some of the divisive rhetoric that was coming out of his mouth. Because some of his policies, if I'm being honest with you, resonated with me. A lot of his policies made a lot of sense to me. So I was more looking to see what kind of tone he was going to take as a leader. Was it going to be a divisive one or not? I like the fact that he also mentioned the black community and various communities. Now, I want to state it here. I'm not someone that would vote for Trump because what he's going to do for my particular community. That's just not how I vote because I'm not relying on any president or any lawmaker to change my life. I believe I have to take control of my life, and anything that changes in my life is going to be because I work for it, not because some political leader said they're going to do something for me. So that I didn't like that because of that. I liked it because it seemed to be very inclusive, and that's been one of the biggest criticisms about Trump, that he's divisive. A lot of the things that he says are divisive. So for him to take that kind of tone, it's something that I really appreciated. I really appreciated it, and I think that I think he's going to do a good job. And amongst some of the other executive orders he's planning is like one of them, which is the one surrounding the policy called Remain in Mexico. Fox News reported that officials say that Trump will reinstate the Remain in Mexico policy, officially known as Migrant Protection Protocols. The policy requires migrants seeking asylum in the U.S. to wait in Mexico while their asylum cases are processed rather than staying in the U.S. during legal proceedings. So look, he said a whole bunch of other things. I've tried to search online to see some of his executive orders, but as I said, this is ongoing as we're currently producing this show. Overall, I was very, very impressed with some of the things that he had to say. And I think that he's going to do a good job. I'm not a MAGA guy or I'm not like by any stretch of the imagination, but as someone who didn't vote for him and now realizing that he's president based off of what he's saying, I like a lot of the policies that he looks that he's looking to implement. I really, really do. And a lot of it seems to be in the best interest of the United States. Some of them I don't quite understand yet, like the policy around tariffs. And I want to see the effect because he said he's planning to deport millions of illegal immigrants. I want to see how that's going to affect the cost of goods in the United States by a lot of those remedial jobs or some of those low-paying jobs that they fill. What happens then to the cost of goods? Will things increase? We have to see what that turns out to be. He didn't mention anything about the HB1 visa. He did mention again about EVs. You saw Elon Musk up there. Elon Musk is a very funny dude. He's up there pumping his fist and all of that. So overall, seems pretty exciting, and I look forward to the coming months to see what Donald Trump has in store for the United States. So this is just my take. All of you knew how I felt before, but I was truly, truly impressed. And I love the fact that they seem to put God at the center of all of it with some of the prayers that were up there. It seemed that really resonated with me, right? It really, really what resonated with me as someone who's questioned whether or not Trump is a sincere Christian. That really did resonate with me. So these are just my thoughts on it. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments. We'll catch you guys on the next show.